one of the easiest ways to not be always miserable is to be always grateful. Grateful for everything, just existence in itself. And I know sometimes people can descend into nihilism and ask, what's this all about? And what you'll find is that they want to drag you down with them. It's the way that an addict wants to surround himself with people who are also addicts. And even if one person's trying to stay clean, the addict would rather have that person consuming drugs with them because it makes them feel better about their poor decisions. And it might not be the best example, but it's the one on the top of my head. This is the quote, "Misery loves company," just says it all. It really does. And so you'll find that miserable people will often try to drag you to their level. People who have no passion for life, no interest in anything, they tend to be, the direct nihilists. At least that term is so kind of cliche now and outdated in the way that we use it. But, folks still think that Friedrich Nietzsche was a nihilist, even though he wasn't. He spoke about nihilism, but he had a passion for life. He warned of nihilism more than anything. And nihilism is simply just, losing, I guess believing that everything is meaningless, that life is meaningless, that there's no point to anything. And I can see how that could actually, this is often where people stop. And they say, okay, nothing means anything, oh well. And they, I guess, become depressed about it. But the way that I perceive it is you acknowledge that it's up to you to set your sights on what you want in life. It's up to you to decide who you want to be and what you want to be and how you want to live. And often this is freedom. But there are many who say freedom is one of the biggest burdens that we could possibly have. The freedom to decide means that we have to decide, you see. When I was younger, I could never understand why so many people, really look to authority for answers. The kind of people who wouldn't prepare for an emergency. They would just sit at home, bleeding, waiting for the paramedics to arrive. And, being able to do things for ourselves, I think, is very important. Huh, Lucy? Isn't that right? What? You get it, girl. You get it. See, dogs know how to enjoy life. They know how to turn off the negativity, and they might have a bad moment and get right back on the train. But humans, we tend to ponder these things. We think too much. We think too much about what could be, what could have been, our regrets. No matter where we're at in life, we can always stop, take a deep breath, and count the blessings that we have and be grateful for what we do have, and start from there and say, what do I want? What do I want out of life? Personally, I'm a simple man. I don't need much. Really, all my life, this is all I've wanted, was just a little bit of land, just a little bit of land to raise my family and to grow on and try to be somewhat self-sufficient. But I don't have expectations. I don't, I have a plan, but I'm very careful not to make detailed plans, because when they fall through, it was just what was meant to be. I think one of the hardest things for people is to acknowledge that sometimes things happen the way they happen. And, things always happen the way they happen, but sometimes it's just a better path ahead, We just can't see it yet. But even when things keep going downhill, even when we feel like we're always failing, it's important to recognize that we should appreciate all the little things that we have and really take everything one day at a time. Otherwise, good luck. So, thank you all for coming to the channel, my subscribers. If there's any new people, new subscribers, welcome, and all that stuff. So many thoughts I have. Whoa, that was a big rabbit. I'll talk to y'all next time. Be well.